What's going on, everyone? Welcome to QVO Games. My name is Juan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. This video is going to be about the games going to retail in the week of April 23rd. We have a short list. Two are special announcements. Other two are just games that are actually coming out for retail that I got a release date for. We're going to have more games come out later on in the month, which next week, of course, the end of the month. And then in May, of course. And then we're going to go into a little bit of a lull because in the convention season, we're going to have games that are releasing into the conventions. They do like a Gen Con release. And that's kind of be a thing, and I'm going to try to update you on what's being released at Gen Con or give you a list of games from there. Not too sure if I will or won't be going to Gen Con. That is to be announced. However, I am going to be at the Gamma Expo, which you should be, when you're watching this video, I will be at the Gamma Expo. And at Gamma, I'm going to be able to get the inside scoop on a lot of games coming to retail, which is what this series is all about. And I'm excited to be able to give you that information and just tell you about all the games coming out if I can tell you about them. Also, I'm going to be able to play these games. Therefore, when I have to give details or update you on a game, I'll be able to do so. And I will be doing that with more experience now that I've played the game and I can explain it to you better. Super exciting stuff. I am pumped to be there. And I'm excited to be able to have that information to give out to you. Let's get this video going. I am covering the games coming to retail in the US. Sometimes these games may have already been released in other regions of the world. If that is the case, you may be seeing videos online of people making content, or you may already own a copy if you traveled. Keep in mind, I'm covering the games coming to retail in the US. If a game's release date ends up being delayed, I will make sure to update you on that delay and tell you the new release date of that game in its respective video. Let's get these games going. Let's show you some games. First things first. This game is releasing to retail, but it's going to be a game that is not coming out this week. I wanted to update you about this because I backed the Kickstarter, and 25th Century Games is actually having a couple deluxe editions online, and the games are going to be, it's basically a pre-order and it comes out mid-May, but apparently they're running out of copies pretty fast. The only reason why I'm doing this is because I got a copy through Kickstarter, and I was really impressed of the deluxified components, and I think you should own one. If you played the previous version of Raw and you like it, this is an updated version with better components on it. And they look gorgeous. The components all look phenomenal. They look amazing. And if you want to get one, you can pre-order one now and you can have it ready. I will still be doing a more solid coverage on this on its respective week when it comes out actually for retail. I just want to tell you about this and give you a special announcement just because I think it looks beautiful and gorgeous, and I don't know if they're going to make this limited or it's never going to be out again for purchase. So you can pre-order it now on 25th Century Games website, and I would recommend you go and do so if you want that deluxified components of it. It is a hefty price tag, $90, but hey, it's deluxe. I like it, and I just want to tell you about that to make sure you were aware. Next game we're going to be talking about is a special announcement. It's Dead by Daylight, the board game. So a little quick story about this game is that I was not aware when this game was going to be out. Because I just couldn't get an exact release date for it. But then I was going to different retail stores and I found out it was already on shelves. And I have been holding this game because I just didn't know when it was going to be released. It just seemed like a really tentative release date, and we don't announce games unless we have either like a definite week or a release date for the game. Dead by Daylight, the board game. I'm going to talk about it now and update you, but this is by Level 99 Games. This game was on Kickstarter and now it is coming to retail. The game right now is $50, which I think is pretty fair. It's actually, I don't know, for something like an IP game, I don't know, it seems like a good price. Let's keep going though. In Dead by Daylight, so originally this game was a video game, and now it turned into a board game. So it's being adapted into a board game, and so far I'm pretty impressed. I thought it was pretty cool. So what I like about it a lot is that in the video game itself, you're playing as there's a killer and 4 survivors. And the killer his goal is to kill the survivors before they escape. And the survivors are all from the video game itself, and they're being adapted into the board game along with the killers. Your goal is to go in and fix different generators and open up a gate to escape with the survivors, right? And the killer's job is to go in and mess with them and do a lot of shenanigans with the survivors trying to kill them. And he has different weapons. It's a really big asymmetric game because each killer plays differently. And they have different abilities, and they're pretty respective to the game itself and the IP, because even the survivors themselves have they're called perks. So I'm not sure if they call them perks in this game. They're basically perks. They're basically perks, and they give you abilities. For example, there's one that you can actually help. For example, you're going to be trying to fix a generator, and when you're fixing a generator, you're rolling dice to see like, okay, you're doing skill checks, and when you fail the skill check to fix the generator, someone in the other room can use their perk to actually benefit you and give you a success or help you pass. So that was the thing in the video game where you can actually add different perks and like build your survivor a certain way to have different abilities. And this game, like I said, they're doing a pretty good job of adapting it almost play by play, right? And it looks pretty cool. I think so far it's really impressive what they're doing with the game. Is it good? Hard to say. I mean, the game itself is IP game. Usually games with like a video game IP don't always do too well, but I am excited to see what it's being done and how it's doing. I used to play this game a lot, quite frequently. Dead by Daylight was a game I played a lot with a lot of friends. I had a lot of fun. It's like I said, you're playing as a group of survivors versus one killer, and your goal is just to survive, and the killer's goal is to just go and kill you. Interesting game. Definitely, if you're into the video game, I can see you being into this board game. If you're not, then you're going to be looking at a game that is one versus many, which is the killer versus the survivors, and your goal is to kill the survivors as the killer, and you have asymmetric powers. They also have a deluxe collector's edition going on here. I am not too sure what the difference between that is. I'm just covering the main box right now. However, it's an interesting game. If you like one versus many style games, I don't think there's any hidden movement at all. Everyone on the board is visible. From my understanding, watching some playthroughs, this is going to be Dead by Daylight by Level 9 Games, and it should be already out for pre-orders. Actually, I'm sorry, it should be out to retail already. However, you can also buy it from the website. And that is it. Next game coming up is going to be Linkto Food by Hachette Board Games, coming out April 26th. Linkto, cooperative trivia game. Reminds me a lot of Just One in a different fashion, right? The cooperative part, helping someone get but in this one you're kind of doing more of like a helping each other guess the specific clues on a card that equal into a certain card. The specific clues on a card that equal to a picture on a card. So for example, they have a really good one down here. You're gonna ask some clues, and it's gonna say like beekeeping. This one says beekeeping, Carrabba's alternative with bolognese sauce, called chips in the UK. So it's going to give you clues, and your goal with those clues to find out which of all these cards is what the card is describing. And the way you tell is the clues is if you look on the card, if the chains match up, you got it right. Like the pattern here matches up, basically. You got it right. And it's a cooperative trivia game. Reminds me a lot of the vibe of Just One, but Just One's a little different. Definitely a lot more different. In this one, it's a little more just it's just a trivia game where you're trying to all help each other guess what's going on. But in Just One, there's a little bit more of there's more thinking, I feel, going on. And in this one, it's a little more fun and free, which I think that's pretty cool about games like this with trivia. And cooperative trivia games I think are great. I am horrendous at trivia. I cannot remember. I remember things like that I want to remember. For example, like I'm into board gaming, I'm into video gaming, I'm into anime, stuff like that. So I can remember that stuff pretty well. But when it comes to like when the first Ferris wheel was built and where and what time and where and what kind, what was the name, I just can't. It's really just specific things. If it was a board game trivia game, I can definitely do that pretty well. Linkto Food is going to be a cooperative trivia game, and that's pretty much what it is. It's going to be a cooperative trivia game about food. And then they have another one by Hachette, Linkto Travel, a cooperative trivia game. So basically, same thing from the food one, just now with a travel reskin. Interesting stuff. I'm excited to see what other reskins they do and what other themes they bring into this travel, food. It'd be cool if they dive into pop culture. That would be more up my alley because that's what I kind of am into more. I read a lot of pop culture stuff and certain things. So it's going to be, like I said, a cooperative trivia game with just travel as a theme. And that's it. That was literally all we had. It was a really, really short video because we didn't really cover Raw. Like I said, I'll cover that when it comes out to retail. I'll cover it, but that's just a pre-order, just to let you know, because I like it and I thought it looked really cool. The game looks awesome, and I want you to understand you can potentially pre-order one and get one yourself. Thank you for watching the video. Made it this far into the video. I appreciate that. Watching the whole video all the way through helps the channel so much. Even if you let it play in the background with it you're not even watching, that's awesome as well because that helps the channel a lot. Also, if you just listen to me as if it's a podcast, just put it on the side, that's great as well. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it. Let me know in the comment section what games you are picking up this week, or if you are even picking up any games that are not on this list, but maybe a different game that you have on your list that you're like, oh, I've been saving up my money to buy this game. Let me know. I'd love to hear it. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it. Have a good one.